everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So this is the last week. We're coming off a pretty good week to start, and we want to end it in a better situation. And then as we lead to next week, when Congress gets back in session, they'll know the right things to do, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So starting next week, $4 trillion worth of cuts or revenue enhancements they're looking at, but they want to cut the deficit by $4 to $5 trillion, right? Sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much considering what's happened over the last 30 years. So what we are calling on Congress to do is very simple. Do not push our seniors, do not push our disabled, do not push our children and families off the fiscal cliff.
That's right.
We did not cause this problem over the last 30 years. In fact, our incomes are exactly the same as they were in 1980, right? But if you look at corporate profits and corporate taxes, the lowest taxes for corporations ever in this country since we've had taxes. Obviously, we all know the story over and over again, how the wealthiest Americans are making all the money over the last 30 years. And that is certainly true. And they want to fleece us even farther. First, they took our savings and loans, then they took our banks, then they took our pensions, then they took our local economies. Now they're going after the last resource we have. The last resource we have is our safety net. We will not allow them to take that. We will make this stand today. Social Security is already protected, but we're going to keep fighting to make sure it's not brought onto the table in the last second. Medicare and Medicaid. We all use Medicaid, right? When our loved ones go into a senior facility, that's who pays for it, right? $6,000 a month. Most of us will have to pay in healthcare costs when you stay in a long-term care facility. Families cannot take up that slack. And what they're talking about doing is gutting Medicaid, right? They're cutting it down by 33%. That burden's going to go to the state. The states cannot pick up the tab to take care of our families. We paid in, we want it back, right? We paid in, we want it back. Starting today, we're taking a stand. This is our country. You guys have had your chance. Your 15 minutes or 15 years is up. Get the hell out of the way. This is our time. So we're going to have 3 speakers speaking on this issue, and then if somebody else wants to tell a story that is has not been heard, come on up and take a position of power. All right, so I'll start.
Your full name and title?
My name is John Gaudette, G-A-U-D-E-T-T-E. I'm the organizing director with Citizen Action Illinois.
Thank you.
My name is Bob Reiter. I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Chicago Federation of Labor. CFL represents 320 affiliated unions in Cook County and beyond, and who in turn represent over 500,000 working men and women around our area. And the president of the Chicago Federation of Labor, Jorge Ramirez, wanted me to come here today and deliver a message on behalf of the CFL. And what that message involves is talking about the rejection by the citizens of this country of the Romney-Ryan plan. Right? The Romney-Ryan plan was a plan that we've seen before. It's a plan based on tax cuts for the wealthy. And as John said, let's take a look at where the wealthy are at. The richest folks in this country, the 1%, the 2%, whatever you want to call them, the income gap between those folks and everyday people is wider than it's ever been in history. That's big. That's something powerful. How did we get this way? We got this way by prioritizing rich folks over poor folks, right? We're not going to grow the economy by putting all the money into the hands of the few. It doesn't work like that. You want to have real economic recovery in this country? You want to see growth? You have to do it by empowering those who work. Working in this country used to be important. So what we had this week is we had an election. The country was very divided on a lot of issues the last few years. But one thing's clear, is that the partisanship that we've had here in the United States can't function anymore. People used to rally behind the president. I think that's what we got to do right now. The president of the United States, Barack Obama, when he first came into the office, reached across the aisle to try to look for that type of compromise, and he was met with a political game to push him back and try to take him out of the presidency. The first goal they did was try to take over the House and then knock him out a couple years later. Well, we got to get beyond that. Barack Obama's the president. We know who's going to be in the House of Representatives. We know what the Senate's going to look like. Let's get something done. And what we should do is look at this lame duck session, as we call it, as an opportunity for those who are in Congress now, whether they're leaving or staying, to stand up and be part of the compromises that we're going to need to move this country forward. You know, Representative Walsh has only got a short period of time left, so he should do the right thing, right? He should start working on his legacy of compromise, and let's get something done. Let's stop attacking programs to help people. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. I mean, Social Security is a retirement system for most Americans. Unless you work as a state employee or a teacher, you have Social Security as part of this safety net. Hopefully, with pensions and other things that are important that folks aren't prioritizing anymore. We need to do more to protect people's future. We need to do more to protect people's jobs. You know, the CFL. Well, a lot of you know we did a commercial starting about a week and a half ago, and it talked about where we've been at historically. You know, we fought for things. We fought for our rights. Not just things that we have in our collective bargaining agreements, but laws, child safety, right? The 8-hour workday, things like that. You know, things that ended up having impact. I mean, a lot of laws like the protections we have under the Equal Employment Opportunity, Title VII. A lot of those things were based on labor laws and things that we fought for, right? So we talked about all the commercial speaks to that, but also speaks to us still being here. We're here on the ground. We're part of the community. We're here to fight we're here to continue that fight. Don't try to take things away from everyday working Americans. And part of the message at the end of that commercial is, we have a voice, we have a vote. Well, another commercial starting in the next, it may even be going up today. And here's what that message involves. That message says, there's been an attack to destroy the middle class, but we're here to stand up and we're here to fight. The election is over, the fight is on. But what the fight is, it's not fighting because someone's a Democrat and someone's a Republican. It's fighting for everyday Americans. That's what that commercial is about. That commercial embodies what our core values are in the labor movement, what the unions here in Cook County, the state of Illinois, and this country are about. So I'm calling on Congressman Walsh, on behalf of the CFL, on behalf of President Ramirez, on behalf of all of you folks here, to be part of the solution this next couple months, and let's reach real compromise. Let's start prioritizing everyday working people. Thank you.
Yeah!
Hello, I'm Damian Christensen. I'm a consultant here in the 8th Congressional District. I work with a number of businesses, over 125 different retailers. And what I've noticed in the months leading up to this election is that people weren't sitting there saying, I'm really afraid that Congress is going to raise my taxes because I'm a millionaire. What they were worried much more about was, were they going to be able to have that next shift? Were their shifts going to be cut? Were their hours going to be cut because they're concerned about making sure they've got enough money? But part of their other concerns was about Medicare and Medicaid, and worried about, are they going to have to quit that second job in order to take care of their parents? I've got friends that are now leaving. I've got some of my consultants' businesses are worried about losing staff because their employees are having to quit in order to go take care of their parents. They're worried about their kids not being able to go to college. Not Harvard and not Princeton and the Ivy League schools, but they're worried about not having enough money in order to be able to afford just sending their kids to community college like Harper down the street here. They're worried about having to take a third job in order just to send their kids to Harper College, not Harvard College, in order to make the ends meet, and worried about their kids' future. Are their kids ever going to be able to move out of the house? They're worried about those kinds of things, not about whether their big 401ks are making enough millions of dollars. They're not worried about whether the corporation that they're working for is making the billions of dollars so that their CEOs can get another $1 million bonus at the end of the year. They're worried about whether the Congress is going to sit there and take it to them one more time. They're worried about the fiscal cliff coming back at them and how that fiscal cliff is going to affect their jobs day in and day out. And whether 9th hour, at the 11th hour, whether Congress is going to say small employees, small people of our Congressional District, whether you have to pay more or whether the big CEOs have to pay their fair share. Whether they finally have to pay their fair share to help pay back into the country that created this wonderful country that we have, and allow them to make more money down the line. So what I'm looking to see is that our Congress does the right thing during this lame duck session in order to make fiscal responsibility key, because our employees are hardworking business owners that are small business owners that are creating the jobs in this country, are need a way for them to be able to create an effective way to pay for our schools, to pay for our streets, and to pay for our communities in a way that helps all of us, not just the 1% or the 2% big corporation owners.